Okay, so we're continuing with lesson 7.2, dividing by 10. And I'm on to the next page where it has a little B as another option of how to divide by 10. And this option is using a multiplication table. Okay, so I still have my same division equation, 50 divided by 10, and I'm trying to figure out what that would equal. Well, if I read here, it says since division is the opposite of multiplication, you can use a multiplication table or your multiplication facts to find a quotient. Remember, quotient is the answer when you're dividing. Okay, so think of a related multiplication fact. Here's my division, 50 divided by 10 equals blank. And I flip it around to make it a multiplication fact. So the box would go at the beginning times 10, and the 50, which is the total, goes at the end in multiplication. So what do I multiply by 10 to equal 50? Well, if I want to use the multiplication chart, I know 10 is one of my multiplication factors. So I'm going to find the factor 10 in the top row right here. Okay. Then I'm going to look down to see where 50 is as a product. Remember, all of these numbers on the inside of a multiplication table are all the products or answers when you multiply. So this is like the answer in multiplication. So now I know this matches with my 50. So I can pull it over to the side to see what the other factor was on the side for blue, and it was 5. Okay, so it says look to the left to find the unknown factor, and it was 5. Let's get my pen working here. There we go. So since 5 times 10 equals 50, then 50 divided by 10 equals 5. Okay. All right, so I'm going to skip these last two problems, but I want to give you one more strategy of how you can divide by 10, maybe mentally or skip counting on your fingers. So if I was doing 50 divided by 10, I know that I'm going to think about it as multiplication again, just like they did here. And so I'm going to say, how many times do I need to count by 10 to equal 50? So I'm going to skip count by 10. 5, or sorry, that was by 5. Okay. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, so I had to do skip counts by 10 5 times. Okay, let's try another one. What if my division equation was 80 divided by 10? And I'm trying to figure out what 80 divided by 10 equals. Okay, so I would flip it around, make it into multiplication. What times 10 equals 80? So skip count by 10 until you get to 80. And how many times did you have to do it? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. That's 8 times. So this question mark or blank must be 8. You might be noticing a pattern with the zeros, which is another mental math way of dividing by 10. Just like in multiplying, if you see those zeros, what you can notice is that, well, I'm taking this 8, and if I cover up the zeros for now, it's just like 8 divided by 1. Okay, and 8 divided by 1 is 8. So that kind of helps you with the zeros. Since both of the zeros are equal to each other, there's 2 zeros there, then it's a little different when you're multiplying and there's extra zeros, but when you're dividing, it's kind of like you're getting rid of those zeros. So I can think of, I noticed this pattern that if there's an 8 here and I'm dividing by 10, my answer is going to be 8. All right, so I'm going to stop the video here, and then we'll start the share and show in a new video.